It's time to check out of my hotel. It's currently 6:50 in the morning, and I'm going to be heading all the way back to Dubai via Kuala Lumpur. So this is the Sunway Resort and Spa Hotel. They're taking my case to the car now. It's about a 60-minute taxi ride back to the airport. And unfortunately, it was a rainy Friday morning. I think Malaysia was sad to see me heading back out of the country. But I will be back in Malaysia in August for a couple of weeks. By the time I got to the airport, the sun was coming up, and it didn't take too long to finally arrive. Coming in to check in the bags and then make my way through to the first security check. And as you make a left turn here, or a right if you come from the other direction, there's just this area here where you have to scan your boarding pass. And sometimes they check your passport as well. And this is before you get to the main immigration hall. So as I got a little bit closer, just scan the boarding pass, down the escalator, and then you can either see a manned passport control officer, or for me, I'm just going to be using the e-gate. So I slide in my passport, it scans it, and if I've pre-registered, the doors will open, and then it will scan my face, and then hopefully my face matches my passport, and then the doors will open, and then I'm on my way. Now, as I come through the right here, I'm going to make a left turn, and this is the first security check. But it is important to note, you do not need to take your liquids out or your watch off or anything like that. They do scan all the bags, but there is a further security check after. I'm going from C gates, and if I'm flying economy, I would make my way here. This is also where the train is. Unfortunately, the train hasn't been working the last couple of months. So if you're going from C1 to C37, you would head that way. I, fortunately, happen to have a business class ticket. So I'm going to make my way to the right-hand side. And just down here, there is a option to get another bus for business and first class passengers. And this goes, it's a slightly understated sign, and it's easy to walk past and miss it. But I'm going to make a right turn here. And I noticed that there are a lot of people in front of me, and I thought, oh, there's a lot of people flying business, but that was just another gate. I'll make a right here, go through the door, and then I'm getting on the bus. So there is a train that get you from the kind of like the A gates through to the C gates. That's been closed for nearly 2 years now, and so you have to get a bus. Now, earlier in the video, I kind of like showed you if you're flying economy, you go follow the signs. You kind of like come through that first security point, just make your way slightly to the left and then straight on, and that's where the old train station boarding area was. But then you go down to the gates. If you are traveling in business or first class, you turn right after that little security area and make your way to gate G1, then come down the escalator. And I thought there's a lot of people coming into business class. And then I realised that there's actually another flight going from the actual gate G1. So currently on the bus now, just waiting to head over to the C gates. Still raining, but it looks like it's easing slightly. And I'm in no rush. We're not boarding for at least another couple of hours, I think. Just head over and see what it's like. So off we go from the A gates on the bus to the C gates. Again, the rain was still coming down a little bit. It was starting to dry up. Get off the bus, and then this is exactly the same area that you get on the bus. So coming up the escalator, walking along this long walkway, and as you come through the end here, you're kind of like in the main central part of the KLIA terminal. There are 4 different gates. You can see them there. So C11 to C17, C21 to C27. It's a little bit chaotic, but finding your boarding gate and knowing where to go is kind of important, because all the different alleyways do begin to look the same if you're not careful. I tend to locate my gate before I go and get a drink, or if I've got access to a business lounge. I will always go to the gate first so that I know exactly where it is for later when it's time or closer to the time to get boarding. This gate was, my flight was going from C16, which is all the way at the end here. And it was always good just to go and check out where it is. On the left here is where the original train station is. They're obviously still redoing that. And that's where the train will take you back to the A gates when they've finally done their upgrades on this. So I mentioned before, coming through the after passport control and the gates, before you get the bus, there's that little security check-in. That is not the full check. Every single gate at KLIA Terminal 1, if you can see behind me, they've got these extra checks, and these are the normal security checks for every single flight. So of all the gates, C11, C12, C27, they've all got individual security checks, which means, and this is one of the few that doesn't have any flights leaving at the moment. But what that means is if you are flying from KLIA Terminal 1, number one, get to the boarding gate early because it takes a long time to go through the security check. You have to take your belts off, your watches off, you have to take your liquids out, your laptops out. And that leads to another challenge. Once you're in the departure gate, there's no liquids. You can't take any liquids through. This caught me out the very first time I came here many years ago. And, I just bought some drinks from the Starbucks, which is upstairs. And unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take them through. So it's just something to be mindful of. It's one of the few airports in the world where you are not allowed to take kind of like more than 100 ml liquids through the security gates. Just something to be really mindful of. And if you've just bought something, drink it. Otherwise, they will take it off you. So as an example, you can see these passengers here waiting to go through to their departure gate. This is where the full security check is, and that's why the lines are always so long. You have to take out your liquids, your laptops, you have to take off your watch, your belt, and all that stuff. So it's a full security check on each and every individual flight. If you come up the stairs, it's often a little bit quieter. This is where all of the business lounges are located. I think there are a couple of smoking lounges up here as well for those of you who like to smoke. And as you walk to the end here, again, you will see that there's the opportunity to see the outbound and inbound passengers mixing all together. So another thing to bear in mind when you are here, and it's another reason why they don't let liquids through, is that arriving passengers and departing passengers actually mix. A lot of these people that you can see walking down towards me have just come off a flight, most likely the Emirates flight, which is just on the kind of like the right-hand side of the screen. That's the same plane that I'll be departing from shortly. So it's another reason why they don't have, or why they do have these liquid restrictions, because you've got incoming passengers and departing passengers all mixing together. It's a little bit chaotic, this airport, but that adds to the excitement of travel, doesn't it? And as I was going to be sitting down for a good 7.5 hours or more on this plane, as always, I go for a little bit of a wander and a walk before boarding. So it's time for me to head to the gate now. Just got myself a coffee and a chocolate almond croissant. Although I'm flying business class today, I don't have access to the business lounge here on Emirates. Only because of the type of ticket that I've actually got. But nonetheless, I don't often use the business lounges anyway, other than to fill up with water. But I can't fill up with water here because once you get to the gate, as I mentioned, you can't actually take any water or liquids over 100 ml through. So I'm making my way now to gate C16. Boarding starts in about 20-25 minutes. But as I mentioned, it's always good to get there early because it can take a little while. I wouldn't say it is the most efficient airport. You've definitely got to plan ahead. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this small little tour of KLIA, Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Terminal 1. And if you are coming here, good luck. Malaysia is a great place. And let us know your own thoughts in the comments about your experience of coming to this great airport. All right, cheers, bye.